Hello and welcome to BIHC online practical class. Today we are going to make salmon en croûte. So the plan today is we're going to roll the pastry a little bit and we're going to wrap the salmon in the pastry, and we're going to make a sandwich with the ingredients. We're then going to serve this later with some sautéed Kenyan beans and béarnaise sauce. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we made some fresh puff pastry. As you know, puff pastry is a pastry that has lots of layers and it will rise up, it will rise when we cook it. I'm just going to carry on. I've already rolled it a little bit to save some time, but I'm going to roll it with a rolling pin just a little bit thinner. Here in BIHC, we make our own pastry, but if you want, and you want to make this at home, you can go to the supermarket and buy this already made. Okay? When we do this, well, when we roll the pastry, we need to make sure we leave enough pastry so the salmon, so when we make the dish, we have enough space for the pastry to go over and cover the salmon. So we're going to roll it a little bit more just to make sure we have enough space. So I think that should be good like that. So there we have our pastry. So what we're going to do now is actually make the salmon en croûte. So I've already filleted, as I said, I've taken the bones out and I've taken the skin off the salmon. I'm going to lay one piece of salmon on the pastry like so. I'm then going to season the salmon like that. But I'm going to season it on both sides. So I'm going to turn it over and season it there because I'm going to work on top of here. Then we're going to make a sort of sandwich with the spinach and the egg. So the first thing I'm going to do is put a layer of egg white on top of the salmon, like so. Then I'm going to put, and again, you can do this in any order you want, but I'm going to do it in this order. Then I'm going to put the spinach. As I say, it's been blanched and chopped and seasoned. We're then going to put the spinach like so. From there, we're then going to put the next layer of egg, or the egg white, on top of the spinach, like so. And any that falls off, let's just try and get everything back on there, like so. And then we're going to finish with a little bit of chopped parsley. You can use parsley, you can use dill, you can use tarragon, any herbs that go well with salmon. Okay, and we're just going to clean that there, like so. What we're going to do is then place on top of that the other piece of salmon like that. So we have a kind of a sandwich. We can make the salmon whole, but for this class, I've actually cut it into portions where we're probably going to get 1, 2, 3, 3 or 4 portions out of this salmon, depending on how hungry you are. Then, what we need to do is just run around the edges of the pastry with the egg wash. The egg wash, as you know, is an egg mixed up with a little bit of milk inside. I'm then just going to season the top of the salmon with a little bit of salt like that. And we're going to just move these things out of the way so we can have some space. Then, once we've got everything egg washed, we're going to take the pastry that we've already rolled and we're going to start to shape the salmon en croûte. So we have to make sure, obviously, that it's long enough, like so. And if you have a little hole there, like that, we're just going to cover like that. Then we're going to go around like that to make sure we don't have any air inside. And then with your fingers, we're just going to nip together so it's secure, like so. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to give it a little bit of a shape or a little pattern. And what I do with a spoon, we're going to make some scales as you would have on a fish. So I'm just going to carefully go over like this to give it some kind of definition. And it looks similar to the scales you would have on the salmon. Like so. And we're just going to go all around. Keep going and keep going and keep going. And there and down there and down there and down there. Then we're going to take our knife and we're going to carefully just cut around there to take off the pastry like so. We put that pastry away. And then, once you've got this far, again, just make sure everything is nice and tucked in, like so. The next thing I want to do is transfer the salmon on to our baking tray. So, we're going to take the salmon off the paper here and then carefully take off and place on like so. Then, whenever we're doing anything with pastry, we need to egg wash. This will give it a nice brown colour when we're cooking it in the oven. Otherwise, if you don't put egg wash, it doesn't get very brown. And there we are. And then we're going to cook this in the oven for about 35 to 40 minutes. The temperature inside, when you've cooked it, it needs to be round about 60 degrees. 60 degrees. But the important point of this, when it's cooked, you need to take it out of the oven and leave it to rest for minimum 15 or 20 minutes. Otherwise, when you cut it, as I'm going to show you in a little while, all the juice will fall out. Okay? So, we've got this salmon ready. So we have the pastry, we have the salmon, we have the spinach, the egg yolk, the egg white, and the parsley, and then we covered. So, we're going to put this in the oven here. But as I say, I have one already made to save us some time. So as you can see, it's exactly the same as the other one. Okay? So, what we need to do is take our chopping board and then we're going to place the salmon on top of the chopping board. So as I say, this cooked for about 40 minutes and then I left it to rest for about 20 minutes. So it's still warm, it's still okay to eat. So we're going to take off all the paper like so. Now, I'm going to cut this in a moment, but what I'd like to do, I've got some little Kenyan beans here. We're going to heat them with a little bit of butter. We're going to quickly fry them just to give us a vegetable today. So super quick like that. These beans I blanched in boiling water for 2 or 3 minutes, and these are going to go into here like that with a little bit of salt. And we're just going to quickly heat them up like that. I have here also, that I prepared earlier, some béarnaise sauce. Béarnaise sauce, as you know, is a butter sauce made from butter, from egg yolks, a little bit of vinegar, and chopped tarragon. That's going to help us, that's going to give us a sauce on the plate. So, there we have the beans already. Then we're going to take the knife, and I'm going to cut a little slice here, just to start us off, and then I'm going to cut probably one portion like that, and then you will see when I put it on the plate how the salmon looks. So there you have the bottom part of the salmon, you have the filling, and then you have the top and the pastry going around. And if you can see, I'm going to get out of that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 portions. So this one is a little bit bigger than the one I made a minute ago. So, I'm going to take the the Kenyan beans, and we're going to put on the plate. This is very simple. The veg is just there to enhance what we have. Like so. I don't think we need any potatoes or carbohydrate because you've got quite a lot of pastry around. I'm going to put on a nice dollop of béarnaise. If you want to have thinner béarnaise, you can add a little bit more cream to thin it out. And then a little bit of decoration on top. I have some mustard cress here, like so. And then also what I'm quickly going to do is I have some melted butter here, some clarified butter. I'm just going to brush a little bit of butter on top to give it a little bit of a shine, like so. And there we have the finished dish. So here we have salmon en croûte, served with Kenyan French bean or Kenyan beans and béarnaise sauce. Thank you for watching.